From Lampson Stadium in Kennewick, it's high school football in SWX tonight. One of the biggest rivalries in all of Eastern Washington, with the Kamiakin Braves hosting the Richland Bombers in Mid-Columbia Conference action. Good evening, and thanks for joining us. My name is Brian Levitan, joined by Mark Bingura. Now, Mark, this is the 47th meeting between Richland and Kamiakin. It's a great rivalry, and tonight it should be another great football game, with the Braves ranked number 7 in 3A and the Bombers ranked number 1 in 4A.
And you mentioned those 47 meetings. Of those, 19 of them decided by a touchdown or less. Both these teams, the players, the coaches, they love playing each other. Like you mentioned, it's a rivalry that's gone back decades. But tonight, I think the key is going to be who controls the trenches.
That's right. Both teams like to throw the football. Both teams trying to run the football a little bit better. But if they can get the protection for their quarterbacks, that could be the key to success. And speaking of the QB position, two of the better quarterbacks that you'll see in Eastern Washington. Let's start with the Bombers.
Yeah, Paxton Stevens, I think he's really a true kind of gunslinger. Not always at the top of the completion percentage, but man, he can scramble around and keep plays alive, and his receiving core is really good at getting open on a broken play and getting it for a big gain.
And when you look at quarterbacks who can do a lot of different things well, great leaders and just really complete individuals, never mind football players, the quarterback in Kamiakin comes to mind.
Zach Borish, what a guy. He's a kid that is always doing the right thing on the football field, off the football field. Last week in the win over Hanford, the touch on some of his passes and his scrambling ability just showed how dynamic he is and how important he is for this Kamiakin Braves offense.
Also a great student and a judoka as well. We'll talk about that more as the game goes on. Well, the countdown is over and kickoff is coming up next year between Kamiakin and Richland here at Lampson Stadium. Stay with us on SWX.
This SWX broadcast is brought to you by Tri-Cities Perfection Tire. With 4 locations to serve you, nobody beats perfection.
It's a beautiful fall night here at Lampson Stadium. About 55 degrees, 10-mile-an-hour wind. Kamiakin will kick it off to start tonight's game, and the kickoff brought to you by Holiday Inn Express in Richland. High end-over-end kick to the far side of the field. Taken out to about the 15-yard line. Gavin Brasker on the return. And that's where the Richland Bombers will begin tonight's first offensive series. Offensive impact players for the Richland Bombers. Paxton Stevens, of course, at quarterback, one of our players to watch, but two-pronged backfield with Ben Stanfield and Parker McCary, and then Alex Chapman, the burner, at wide receiver.
That's right, averaging 26.4 yards a catch. He's going to be a person to watch tonight.
Bombers start off with the run. And it's McCary taking it out for about a 5-yard gain. Let's take a look at the impact players on defense for the Braves. Very strong up front. One of their senior leaders on defense, Wyatt Musser. Then they have Alex Bayek, linebacker, and a couple of very talented defensive backs, and Darian Moore and Drew Sanderson.
That's right, Alex Bayek, look for him to be making a big impact. Tackles for loss, sacks. He's been all over the field this year for the Braves.
2nd down and 5. Stevens feeling a little pressure. Scrambles. Had an open Alex Chapman in the flat, coming across the middle. But he threw it a little bit behind him. It's incomplete. And it'll be 3rd down and 5.
And that's a completion that these Bombers normally connect on. Alex Chapman and Paxton Stevens talking about practice. They've been friends for as long as Paxton Stevens moved here. Chapman was his very first friend, he told me. And, so I think the Braves got a little lucky there. He looked like he had about 20 yards of field ahead of him.
Chapman is fast. He's one of those guys where if you don't tackle him right away, it could be 6 pretty quick. Paxton Stevens works almost exclusively out of the shotgun. Braves show a little bit of blitz, then a flag. And it looks like a lot of Braves defensive players
against the offense, number 64. That's a 5-yard penalty. Replay, 3rd down.
It would be a penalty against Richland. That's a 5-yard penalty. And now it's going to be 3rd down and 10.
And the blitz there with the middle linebackers, Bayek, again, he has had over 6 sacks his first 2 games, but they can use them to kind of get that offensive line a little jumpy, and they're going to have to watch that through the rest of the game.
Big 3rd down and 10 here. The Bombers pinned back on their first offensive series, their 15-yard line. Stevens, far side of the field. His receiver had a step, but he couldn't quite connect with Ryan Piper, and that'll bring up fourth down. A great opportunity here for the Braves to get some solid field position out of the gate here, as the defense looked good early on. And boy, in this last meeting between these two schools, granted some different players, of course, last year at Fran Risch, Richland converted so many third down and longs, and that was a big factor in why they were able to win that game so easily.
Yeah, and I think a lot of that has to do with, departed now Lakota Wills, such a big piece for them on the ground last year. They're missing that this season.
Mendoza, kind of a duck of a punt there, out to the 39-yard line. So, really do the math, that's about a 24-yard punt mark, and excellent opportunity for the Kamiakin Braves here to perhaps get some points on their first offensive series. Let's take a look at impact players on offense. Of course, talked about Zach Borsch, their star quarterback. Running back Jethro Quested, first 100-yard game last week against Pasco. And he gets the handoff on first down. A little room to run. He'll get the first inside the 30, down to the 27. And boy, if he didn't get wrapped up there by the defensive back on that particular play, William Harshaw, that could have been 6.
That was an arm tackle away from being 6. You're exactly right.
Handoff again to Questhead. This time he's going to try and bounce it outside. He was in trouble from the start. Good pursuit there by the Bombers. Tackle made by Adam Weissenfels.
Yeah, good effort there.
Let's take a look at the impact players on defense for the Richland Bombers. Brigham Whitby, kind of the anchor and leader on the defensive line. Josh Mendoza, Ryan Piper in the defensive backfield along with Adam Weissenfels. Boy, the Bombers, 11 interceptions and make it 12 on the season as the pass by Zach Borsch was deflected and intercepted by William Harshaw.
And just add another Bombers name to the list. They've got 4 guys with 2 or more interceptions. Now Harshaw has it. That's been the key for their defense. They create turnovers.
That is pretty amazing. Going through the impact defensive players, and wanted to mention that they had 11 interceptions already through 5 games this season. They get their 12th right as I'm saying it. So just like that, a huge pendulum shift for the Bombers, as they were on the ropes with the Braves deep in their territory. Handoff to Ben Stanfield, his first carry of the football game, and he gets about 6.
And, that's going to be a theme tonight. Richland, obviously they can throw the ball, but what Coach Neidhold thinks that they really need to run the ball effectively with Kamiakin and the defense that they have. They need to control the line of scrimmage and establish the run and not just rely on their pass catchers to be able to come out on top and put up points.
2nd down and 4. Handoff again to Stanfield. Up the middle. Gets the first and more. Out to midfield. Ben Stanfield rumbling. That was one of the keys, Mark, that Coach Neidhold had talked about coming into tonight's game. Coach Mike Neidhold of the Richland Bombers said, our team has to become a better running football team, have to have more balance as we get deeper into the season, and it's got to like what it sees so far.
Yeah, they're running the read option to perfection. A defender stayed and ran after Stevens because he's a threat on the ground as well.
Hey, pitch it to Stanfield again. And wow, he got 4 yards. He was already out of bounds, and the extra little nudge there out of bounds is going to be an unsportsmanlike against the Braves. Add 15 yards to that 4-yard run. Another first down for Richland.
Yeah, these games, again, rivalry, we've talked about it in the pregame. It's going back decades. Anyone getting an edge early in this game is going to make the other team angry, but you got to avoid those types of penalties.
Kamiakin in their loss to Chiawana earlier this season. So we await the official.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness against number 22 of the defense. That's a 15-yard penalty from the end of the run, results in a first down.
Dylan Crawford got to stay a little bit more composed. Coach Biglin a little concerned there. Just talking about that loss, the lone loss on the season for Kamiakin, which comes into tonight's game with a 4-1 record, 2-1 in conference. But in that loss, they kind of got kicked in the teeth a little bit by Chiawana, and some penalties early on, some unsportsmanlikes. They got a little frustrated. Passing here on first down, and Paxton Stevens off the mark.
And, in that game, Zach, we talked to Borish about it, the Kamiakin Braves quarterback. We asked him, what did you learn from that game? And he said, when they were down, they obviously, like you said, got hit in the mouth. The problem was they didn't get back up from it, he felt. Like they were not playing hard as the game went on, and he thinks that they learned from that, and they've got to definitely do that against the Bombers, especially if the Bombers are going to score.
Well, looking at their last couple of games, they certainly have played with a lot of intensity. Pasco 56-6 win, and then 48-14 last week to Hanford.
A couple of big wins. Good for them to bounce back after that. 2nd and 10, a flag before the play can get started.
Dead ball, encroachment against the defense, number 22. That's a 5-yard penalty. Replay, 2nd down.
So that's 20 yards in penalties now in this drive alone against the Braves. First time that the Bombers have been in Kamiakin territory, their second offensive series of the football game. 9:16 to go here in the first quarter. Richland coming in with a 5-0 record, 3-0 in conference. Shut out Pasco 47-0 in their game last week. Bombers, of course, number 1 in the state in 4A. And Ben Stanfield continues to run wild all over the Braves.
They normally operate with a kind of running back by committee approach, but it looks like Stanfield has got the hot streak right now, and you can bet that Coach Neidhold's gonna keep riding him until the Braves find out how to stop him.
Great job of corralling that high snap by Stevens and a 12-yard run by Ben Stanfield, who had a 15 or 16-yarder earlier on in this drive. Stanfield with room, down to the 10. Gets another 6, and if they keep running the ball this effectively, Mark, it's going to be a very long night for Kamiakin and its defense.
I mean, you think about it, running the ball obviously keeps them on the field. They're going to get tired. They've got speedy wide receivers for the Bombers. A few of these plays and this read option, and then throw one over the top later in the game, and the Braves could be in trouble if they allow this to happen.
Well, Kamiakin only allowed 55 points this season, but 35 of those came to Chiawana. Stevens, near side, through the hands of Josh Mendoza, one he probably wishes he could have back.
They go for the play action right there, and Mendoza, it looks like he had a couple of hands on it, just couldn't quite get it. I'm sure he wants that ball back.
Beautifully placed by Stevens, who comes into tonight's game with 14 touchdowns against just 4 interceptions, completing about 55% of his passes, and leading the Mid-Columbia Conference with 1,200 yards passing, but he has thrown just a couple of balls tonight. And another flag.
Nope. Dead ball. Failure to wear equipment. Number 67 of the offense. That's a 5-yard penalty. Replay, 3rd down.
Well, that hurts on 3rd down. What was 3rd and 5 is now 3rd and 10.
3rd down, 10 yards to go.
And if they fail to complete a pass here, 35-yard field goal, especially with the wind going in the other direction, it's not a gimme at the high school football level.
I wouldn't be surprised to see Neidhold and the Bombers go for it if it does come to that.
4 receivers on 3rd and 10 from the 17. And they hand it off to Stanfield again. He gets 5 down to the 11. They may just decide to go for it here on 4th and 6, which I think is potentially what they'll decide to do.
Yeah, Stevens on the field still looks like.
Yeah.
Neidhold, on 4th down, he does not like to he likes to go for the big play. We'll just leave it at that.
Well, they have a lot of confidence in their offense. And we've got a timeout before this play can get going. The play clock was down to 6, and I think Coach Neithold, Mark, was a little bit concerned that they didn't have things set the way he liked. And they will discuss. Offensive coordinator Josh Jelinek coming out to discuss with his offensive unit. And you see there Tim Maher, the long-tenured defensive coordinator with the Braves, discussing things with his troops. Well, Kamiakin, as I said earlier, comes into tonight's game with a 4-1 record, 2-1 in conference. Lone loss to Chiawana, 35-13 at Edgar Brown a couple of weeks ago. Gave up 400 yards rushing and 4 touchdowns to Andrew Vargas. One of the performances for the ages in that game. And take a look there at Coach Mike Neithold in his 9th year as the head coach of the Bombers with a stellar 62-29 record. Before that, an assistant coach at Richland for 21 years. He's the only Bomber alum to become a head coach, and he was the starting quarterback on the 1975 team that finished second in the state. Was talking to Coach Neithold, Mark, before the start of tonight's game, and I said, when did this rivalry, because tonight is the 47th meeting between the two schools, become a rivalry between Richland and Kamiakin? I know the Braves opened up in 1971. He's like, was it 1971? That's when it became a rivalry. Pretty much right from the start. Thought that was pretty cool.
Get-go.
Out of the timeout, a big 4th down and 6 for the Richland Bombers. McCary and Stanfield both in the backfield for the first time tonight, with Stevens, who's operating out of the shotgun. 4th and 6 from the 12. Handoff, going nowhere. Ben Stanfield, a big tackle there in the backfield by
Looks like it might have been linebacker Alex. 22.
Dylan Crawford.
Dylan Crawford, yeah. He had a penalty earlier on the drive, but makes up for it there with a nice stop on 4th down.
So big stop on 4th down there by the Kamiakin Braves. Bombers got that interception return and couldn't convert it into points. Handoff, and nothing doing on the run play to Jethro Quested.
Looks like the ball's loose there. Braves do recover, though.
So it'll be 2nd down and long. I think what the Braves probably want here, Mark, is a little bit of continuity on offense. That'll help them be a little bit more competent against this Richland team. Orish, good protection. Looking over the middle, and it's caught by Darian Moore. But a great job of preventing any additional yards after the catch by Josh Mendoza as he wraps him up immediately, and Darian Moore can be dangerous if he gets loose.
Yeah, you know, he really, just a few catches on the year, just 14 coming into tonight, but he was the guy who was one of the best receivers in the league last year. He's picked up an offer from Eastern Washington, but, you know, he's dangerous, and I think this season maybe a little forgotten about, but like you said, good job on the tackle, but he can make those contested catches.
Yeah, he's an excellent defensive back. Always a concern with the interception. Among the league leaders last year, I believe he was a 2nd-team All-League selection last year. And they're going to measure for the 1st down as Moore was awfully close. And the Braves will get a 1st down, and they'll take it. They try to turn that negative or potential negative of the Borish interception. It was really a deflected pass that turned into an interception and a great scoring opportunity for the Bombers. Got the big defensive stand, and now if they can sustain some sort of an offensive drive, it does 2 things, right? Gives the defense a little bit of a rest, and they've been working pretty hard, and gives this offense some confidence against one of the top teams in the entire state. Handoff to Quested. And he is going nowhere. Another great tackle there by Jaxley this time. from that Bombers front seven, and that's something both coaches talked about, Mark, how important the line play was going to be and how important establishing the run was going to be.
Yeah, in the Braves, they really did a really good job last week. Westside went over 150 yards, 2 touchdowns on the ground. But that is going to be important. That's why you saw the Bombers emphasize it so much on their last 2 drives.
On 2nd and 10, Borish rolling near side of the field, and the pass is off the hands of his intended target, Colton Chellin. Junior wide receiver starting to see some more time here.
Yeah, that's due to Champ Grayson, a normal starter. He's actually out last week, injured his shoulder. As you see, Borish, he puts it in the right spot. He's just got to make his opportunity right there. That's how you get more playing time, and that's a ball that he knows he should have caught there.
So 3rd down and 10. Big 3rd down and 10. Borish thinks he sees a hole and tries to run for the first, and he will not get there. Stopped dead in his tracks at the 34. Needed to get to the 37. And it'll be 4th down. Got to believe that Kamiakin will punt it away here with the ball on their end of the field.
Yeah, you think so, and it looks like that's what they're going to line up and do here with Alex Bayuk, I believe, as the
Bayuk is typically the punter, but it doesn't look like he's the one doing the punting. Looks like Garrett Paxton. Low snap. Paxton able to handle it, but not the best punt. Kind of a sidewinder. Barely makes it out to midfield. And now it is, I don't know if a Richland player accidentally touched that or grabbed it. That was Garrett Brasker who snagged that ball with 3 black shirts all around him. And we're going to step aside here. Been quiet on the scoreboard. No score, but still a very physical, hard-fought game between Richland and Kamiakin here at Lampson. Back after this on SWX. Wind starting to pick up here a little bit at Lampson Stadium. A cool night, a little over 50 degrees. There you see Zach Borish, quarterback of the Kamiakin Braves, talking strategy with his head coach, Scott Biglin. Pretty darn good quarterback in his own right when he was at Pasco High School, playing for one Steve Graff, and also then at Whitworth University, an all-league quarterback at the college level, too. 1st down and 10. Bombers taking over after the Braves punted away from the 49 of Kamiakin. Handoff is to Parker McCary. Tries to take it to the outside, and nothing doing there. Loses a half a yard.
I think you kind of see that Kamiakin defense settling down a little more. The running game the last couple of plays for him not really working as well, and that's just a credit to the guys they have here. As you see him cutting there, and really nowhere to go. The cutback taken care of there. Dylan Crawford on the tackle in the backfield.
One thing Coach Neidhold had talked about is, they have some younger players who are trying to work into their offensive line, and some of the blocking schemes just require a lot of teamwork and repetition together. Another handoff here, more success this time on the run play. Pickup of 8 by McCary again, and it'll be a 3rd and short, 3rd and about 3. But they run combo blocking schemes, and there's a lot of partner blocking, Coach Neidhold was saying, and he compared it to being a police officer on the beat with the partner. If you get a new partner, it takes a little while to get used to that partner to make sure everyone's in the same spot.
Yeah.
And he believes they'll get better this season as it wears on, but it's going to be critical to their success as they move toward November. Hand off to McCary. Cuts it back near side. Going up the middle. Cuts it again. Inside the 20. Parker McCary's biggest run of the night. And the Bombers offense back in business.
And you look at the vision that he has there coming off here, sees the cutback to the left, then sees another opening to the right. Just great vision on his part. And, as I'm looking at the rushing leaders in the MCC, both Parker McCary and Ben Stanfield are both in the top 10.
21-yard run there by Parker McCary. And a whistle before the 1st down play from the 20 can get started.
Dead ball. False start against the offense, number 64. That's a 5-yard penalty. Replay, 1st down.
By my count, and I sometimes forget to count, it's not my strong suit, 3rd penalty of the night for the Richland Bombers, and I'll back them up 5 yards. A little bit of a downer after that nice run from McCary. Number 1 stays out on the field. They like to give him some breaks, though, because he'll play a lot of linebacker on the defensive side of the football, too. Handoff again to McCary. And this time the Braves not fooled by the belated play action as they kind of reverse play action. They they handed it off to him, and then Stevens tried to do the old Brett Favre pretend throw. There you see Parker McCary, 5'9", 185 pounds. A little bit more of the scat back type versus Stanfield, who's more of the bruising north-south runner.
Yeah, and it works for him. They both average over 5 yards a carry. McCary with 5 touchdowns and then Stanfield with 4. So they both get their touches and they're both productive.
A little motion there. Braves clapping their hands.
Dead ball, false start against the offense, number 79. That's a 5-yard penalty. Replay second down.
Couple of penalties here, totaling 10 yards in the last few plays, and the offense here just having some issues. The offensive line has looked promising, Mark, at points. Certainly getting a lot of space for the running backs, but they've also made some mistakes there with the false starts. Stevens going to throw on 2nd and long, and it is caught. No, they're going to say out of bounds. Intended for Alex Chapman.
Man, what a close one. It looked like he came down with it. He's averaging 26.4 yards a catch, and they're set at the 28. I believe that would have been just about 26 yards. So looks like they're trying to keep that average right at 26. And, he brings it in, but, yeah, the ref said there it's a step out.
It was well covered by Darian Moore, and Stevens put it where Moore couldn't get it, but that was out of bounds. 3rd 19. Quick dump-off pass, a little bit too far out in front for McCary to grab. And it'll be 4th and 19. But I'm willing to bet that they go for it here.
Why not?
From the 29-yard line. It's too far for a field goal, and Coach Neidhold, a lot of belief in his offense, might as well just take a shot.
When I asked Coach Neidhold, I saw him go for it 4 times in the first half against Kennewick here a few weeks ago. And I asked him, Coach, why didn't you ever punt it? Why didn't you flip the field position? Do you believe in your defense that much? And all he said was, I hate to punt. I hate to willingly give the ball away.
And that's a very common strategy at the high school football level. 4th and 19, Stevens feeling pressure. And he's just going to hold on to the football and take the sack. Looked like Dylan Crawford was first on the scene. And perhaps Hayden Larson, too. Big sack there, and once again, the bend but don't break Braves defense comes through.
And Kamiakin, they play a lot of man. That frees up a lot of rushers, a lot of pressure for them. And again, it gets to them, and they come up with a huge 4th down stop there.
First down, Borish feeling heat. Gonna try and scramble, gets away. What a run by Borish. That's the most impressive 5-yard run I've seen in a long time.
He's not a huge yards on the ground guy, but his ability to escape pressure is really what makes him such a threat for the Braves.
He had a run against Chiawana where they had him dead to rights. And if you have any idea of how good that Chiawana front line is, you'll appreciate this. They had 3 guys, including Josh Alvarez, and Anthony Reich had him dead to rights, and he made a 15-yard run. It was incredible. Speaking of runs, Jethro Quested finally gets a little bit of wiggle room in the middle there, and looks like he's close to the first down.
Yeah, he hit that hole in a hurry. No one was going to bring him down until he got at least 5 out of that. And
I think the sticks will move.
Yeah, it looks like he got about a 7-yarder there, maybe 6.
We got a hold, though. There's a flag on the play, too. Hold against Kamiakin.
Holding against number 65 of the offense. The penalty being enforced from the spot of the foul. 10-yard penalty. Replay second down.
So Max Kortkov called for the hold.
Both these teams plagued by offensive penalties early on here. I don't know if it's the jitters or just the rivalry.
I think it's both offensive lines having to deal with some pretty talented players on the defensive side of the football.
Very true.
2nd down and 16. Play will not be allowed to continue. Another flag.
Dead ball. False start against the offense. Number 2. That's a 5-yard penalty. Replay. Second down.
Back-to-back false starts against the Kamiakin Braves. Now it's 2nd and 21. Doesn't count on the scoreboard, but right now Richland's winning the field position battle, which could factor in later on, unless the Braves can get things straightened out offensively. Play action. Borish over the middle, overshoots his intended target. That sailed, thankfully, where nobody could get it from Richland for Borish's sake, because that could have been his second interception. And it'll be 3rd down and 21 now from the 25.
You mentioned field position. The Braves, they really need to flip the script because Richland, I mean, I've seen them through the season start slowly in the first half and then just come on a blitz in the second and put up a bunch of points. Kamiakin really needs to put some offense on the field here in this first half.
Quick out pass to Isaiah Brimmer, his first reception. Going to be awfully difficult to make up an additional 10 yards with the way the Bombers defense and their secondary swarms to the football.
I mean, I counted 6 Bombers there, 2 of them linemen, like you said, swarming to the football. They do it just about as good as anyone in the league.
Isaiah Brimmer, 6'6", 205, standout basketball player as well. Under a minute to go here in the first quarter on 4th and 11 from the 35. Braves will punt it away. Paxton boots it just past the 50, and one of the upbacks fields it, and he's going to take it back for a big return. Adam Weissenfels all the way down to the 25 of Kamiakin, and boy, that is an Achilles heel for this Kamiakin team. Saw it in the Chiawana game. Their punting game is not what they want. They had Alex Bayek handling the punts in that game, and he's got a big leg, but he was slow to get kicks off, and they were getting blocked, and Paxton just doesn't have the same boot.
You know, and then Weisenfels, this guy is dangerous with the ball in his hands, plays defensive back, plays receiver, is a punt returner, and he is a threat to take it to the house anytime he gets it.
27-yard return. 26 and a half seconds left in the first quarter. Bombers with another great opportunity inside the 30 of Kamiakin. Stevens will keep it himself for the first time. Dives forward. Mark him down at the 24. Gain of 5 there. Clock continues to tick down. Looks like that could be the final play of the quarter.
I'm not sure if that's the play you necessarily want, your quarterback running right up the middle against this defense, but good job by Stevens there to get down in a hurry and not take a big hit.
Well, that'll do it for the end of the first quarter. Bombers will have it in great field position when we come back. They've had a lot of great opportunities, but it's still no score between Richland and Kamiakin here at the Lamp. Second down and 6 for the Bombers from the 24 of Kamiakin. Stevens going end zone for Chapman. Caught, touchdown. No, knocked away at the last second by Darian Moore. What a play. It looked like Chapman had it in his grasp there. We have to see that on a replay. And at the last second, Moore knocked it away.
Man, what a great play. Again, Paxton Stevens looking for his guy, Chapman there, but Darian Moore, wow.
Well, that's why he's
awesome play there.
Well, that's why he's getting looks at Eastern Washington. I believe some Pac-12 schools are also interested in him. He is a burner, too, just like Chapman, and that's a great matchup that we'll have to pay attention to.
Definitely the top receiver in the league there. Moore, obviously a talented athlete.
Third down and 6 now. They pitch it to Stanfield. And he will not get the first. Boy, this Braves defense, man, they seem to be on their heels a little bit with the field position that the Bombers keep getting. And then they just bow up inside that 30. Their red zone defense has looked exceptional tonight. Big 4th down and 3. Will this be the the third fourth down that the Bombers don't convert inside the 30 of Kamiakin tonight.
The way this defense is playing, I don't know. I'm not going to bet against them at this point.
Stanfield in the backfield with Stevens. Play clock down to 3. Stevens will roll and throw. Pass is caught. And boy, that's awfully close. Pass was caught by Weissenfels. And no go! It is Kamiakin football again. The first down marker was at the 18.5-yard line. He got down to the 19.
Yeah, just a great defensive play. Again, I think I bet on the defense there, and they bailed me out. But, they've just been playing well as a unit. Again, you see 1, 2, 3, 4 guys there around the ball. They know exactly what the down and distance is, and they knew where they couldn't let them get past them. Now,
Richland High School 0 for 3 on fourth down inside the 30 of Kamiakin. Borish under pressure. How did he get loose? He'll throw it over the middle, caught by Brimmer. Oh, and Brimmer could have taken that. Great open field tackle by Weissenfels. A flag in the backfield. Boy,
flag in the backfield, usually a hold, but Borish, again, we've been talking about his scrambling ability. Just a little Houdini act here as he was running right, and just he feels the presence of the defense there.
Jackson had him dead to rights.
Runs around there, throws a bullet.
And he got popped as he threw that.
Passer's head. That's a 15-yard penalty from the end of the run. Results in an automatic first down.
Wow, big 15-yard penalty. So they get the first down, even though Brimmer couldn't quite break free from Weissenfels.
And, this might be all they need for the Braves. Get a little offensive momentum, a play here or there, and they could start rolling.
1st and 10 from the 41. Braves is trying to find a little offensive momentum. That penalty could help. Hand off to Quested. Another good run up the middle. Gets 7 yards, but then a flag from the back judge.
I got holding against number 5 of the offense. That's a 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul, result in a first down.
So they'll replay first down, but now it'll be 1st and 19 from the 31-yard line. Well, that's a tough break. 10 penalties between the Bombers and the Braves here through the first 13 and a half minutes of the football game. So both teams a little bit sloppy.
And it seems like every time one of the teams gets on maybe a little offensive roll, a penalty comes back and stops them.
Quested able to split a couple of defenders as he was in trouble there at the line of scrimmage and gets a couple of yards, but it's still going to be a second down in, I want to say, 17. See right there the good penetration by the Bombers front line, and Quested just dove for some positive yards. Great protection. Borish got Quested wide open on the screen pass, but he couldn't break it off to get some yards after the catch. Good open field tackle by Willie Harshaw. And we've seen some great tackling by the Bombers here. Their linebacking core and particularly their defensive backs have done a great job of just limiting those extra yards.
Yeah, they can tackle in the open field. And I looked down the field. Nobody was open. He made the right throw, unfortunately, just for a couple of yards there.
Now it's 3rd and 14, so they'll need to pick up some big yards here if they want to keep this drive alive. Rolling. Feeling the heat, and Borish is going to have to dive to the turf and take cover. Sacked by Jax Lee. Essentially a coverage sack there, as several white jerseys could have got to him.
You look at the defensive backfield for the Bombers. Chapman, Weisenfels, Piper, Mendoza, they all play wide receiver as well. So you got to think that playing both sides, playing the position, covering the position that you also play has got to help you on the field on the defensive side.
4th and 18 from their own 28. The Braves once again will have to punt it away. Alex Bayek now in to do the punting. And his punt does make it across midfield, and squibs rolling towards the Richland side of the field. So it'll be down inside the 45, which is far and away the best field position from Kamiakin's perspective for the Bombers in this game, which tells you something about how they've been punting the football. But Bayek's punt, not much better than Paxton's, but it is better.
Yeah, they got helped on the bounce there, but this defense playing the way it is, if you get them across the 50-yard line, you got to be feeling pretty good about your chances.
Bombers have had their opportunities on offense, just haven't been able to convert. Come awfully close. Quick screen pass to Weissenfels. And he gets just past the line of scrimmage, picks up about a yard, tackled by Drew Sanderson and Colton Schellen. Boy, Weissenfels, interesting story here. His dad, Bob Weissenfels, is the assistant coach for the Bombers, one of the assistant coaches, and was also a member of the U.S. bobsled team in the early 90s. How cool is that?
No kidding. Wow.
Second down and 8 from the 46. Play action, Stevens throwing it away. Obviously a broken play there, and Stevens thinking to himself, let's just get rid of it.
Yeah, I think he's tired of getting sacked by this Braves defensive front. Doesn't want to take another one and just takes a loss of down rather than a loss of yards.
Yeah, he hasn't had a whole lot of success completing passes here in the early going, and the offense has been most successful when they've run the football. Both Stanfield and McCary have had success, but throwing the football, they had the almost touchdown to Chapman, but that's it.
Yeah, and he's right around a 55-yard percentage passer, kind of because of things like this.
Third and long. This one is caught by Josh Mendoza for a first down inside the 40. Brought down at the 36. That'll be enough for a first down.
And you got to love the effort there. Refusing to go down at the catch. First defender meets him, makes the guys push him, and he still falls forward for a couple extra yards.
22-yard pass from Stevens to Mendoza. Biggest pass of the night thus far for either team.
Just keeps the legs moving.
I believe that's just the second completion, maybe the third tops for Stevens thus far, and he's thrown it quite a bit. First and 10 from the 36, going to go end zone possibly. Lofting it far sideline as Stevens falls to the ground and tries to act a little bit there for the unsportsmanlike. The coaches certainly thought so. Pass intended on the far side of the field for Ryan Piper, but it was thrown out of bounds where nobody could get to it.
We saw Josh Mendoza make that play for 20-plus yards just 2 ago. And I asked Coach Bigland for the Braves, do you double Alex Chapman, the leading receiver in the MCC in yards and touchdowns? And he said, we can't really, because they've got guys like Piper, like Mendoza, and like Weissenfels, who if you double Chapman, then they can break a big one for you.
Well, this Richland team has got a great tradition, just like Kamiakin, and they keep reloading year after year after year. Stevens on the keeper. Takes it up the middle. Gets some good yardage there. Out to the 29 is where they're going to mark him down. And Mark, I know you were at practice for the Bombers earlier this week, and Stevens, more of a traditional shotgun type of passer, but deceptively fast, huh?
Yeah, he, like you said, he stands tall in the pocket. He's kind of got the gunslinger mentality, which, sometimes hurts that passing completion percentage. But, man, when he takes off, he can fly.
Great basketball player, too. Key cog in the Bombers basketball team last year. A nice run in the postseason. Key member off the bench. Handoff to McCary, and nothing doing there on third down. And guess what? Once again, Bombers find themselves at the 30-yard line with a fourth down. A fourth down and 4 from the 30. Already 0 for 3 tonight.
Well, it looks like they're bringing maybe in the heavy set. I saw a couple of the big guys trotting onto the field there. But this Braves front, 3 for 3, is it now, on fourth down?
3 for 3.
We'll see if they can go 4 for 4 right here.
They hand it off to one of their fullbacks, and he's not going to get there. Wow, Victor Strasser, first carry, and he gets stoned. 5:42 to go here in the first half of play, and it's still a stalemate. No score between the Bombers and the Braves here on SWX. Well, it's been a stalemate here at Lampson Stadium. But are the winds of offense starting to blow? That is the question. Once again, the Braves on defense stone the Bombers on 4th down at the 30 or closer. On 1st down, the handoff is to Zach Borish, and he gets back out to the line of scrimmage, maybe a half a yard, and it'll be 2nd down and 10 now. I say no gain on the play. It'll be 2nd down, 9 actually. Now they change it on the scoreboard. It has been a defensive battle. Field position battle, though, certainly won by the Bombers. They've had some missed opportunities, and another pass over the middle from Borish, almost intercepted. Had one earlier in the game intercepted on the first offensive series for the Braves. And that one there, in and out of the hands of a defender. Take another look at this here. Borish, very lucky that Parker McCary did not pick that off. Quick screen pass here on 3rd and long. Quested has a little bit of space. Can he get the first? Fighting his way out to the 40. And that should be enough to move the sticks as he went shoulder to shoulder with the big Victor Strasser of the Bombers. Strasser is a load at 5'11", about 200 pounds.
What an effort by Questad there. I mean, last week he had a 51-yard touchdown catch. Not quite the same yards there, but man, he laid a hit and got them the 1st down.
Questad again, now running it up the middle. Gets about 7. Interesting thing about Jethro Quested, he comes in ranked 4th in the Mid-Columbia in rushing, 470 yards, 7 yards per carry, 7 touchdowns, but only has one 100-yard rushing game through the first 5 games of the season. Borish going to keep it himself and get the first into Richland territory. And finally, the Braves have their most promising offensive drive of the night. One thing that isn't happening on this drive that's been a problem in previous drives tonight, no penalties.
No penalties, that is the key, and that's really what's killed their previous drives. But yeah, if they can keep it clean, then their offense is getting into a groove right now.
Play action, quick pass, caught by Benson Smith. Tries to turn it upfield and does. Just inside the 35-yard line.
Benson Smith, he's a guy that really he can do multiple things in this offense. Last week he had a 40-yard touchdown run and a touchdown catch, and he's a good offensive playmaker for him.
Be 2nd down and 1. Hand off to Quested, fighting for the 1st down, and he gets it.
And then some. He's
still moving. Wow. Quested keeping those legs turning and getting the tough yards.
I think when you see a guy working that hard, when really he needs 2 yards and he fights for 5, 6, 7 yards like that, that really gets the rest of the team going.
Big 1st down for the Braves. Inside the Richland 30 for the first time tonight. Can the Braves convert and get some points? What a big pendulum shift that would be. Far side of the field, and that is intercepted. Bombers have it, and a big return all the way out to the 43-yard line. Alex Chapman.
And you can
his 4th interception on the season. And the 13th for the Bombers.
That's what I was going to say. Just add another one, put him another spot higher on that list. He's already the first one in the MCC with 4 picks, like you mentioned. And that defense, they cause turnovers at the most inopportune times for the opposing offense.
Unreal. He had a beat on it the whole way, and Alex Chapman, well, that's why he's one of the best in the MCC. A big play there. And that just has to hurt for the Braves. Stevens going deep. Far side of the field, trying to thread the needle. Intended for Josh Mendoza, but he was well covered. And Benson Smith a little slow to get up as he hit the turf hard.
You know, I think we all expected a little more scoring to be happening, but when you look at the defensive numbers, both teams tied for points given up in 49. Yards average per play, 4.3 for Kamiakin, 3.6 for Richland. So really, when two tough defenses play, this is the kind of game that you look at.
2nd and 10. Stevens in trouble, gets a block, gets free. Just throws it away as he goes to the turf. It'll be 3rd down and 10 from the 43. So, wow, this is just so back and forth. Neither team can really quite bust the door down offensively.
I mean, it's been build a little momentum, penalty kills your drive. Build some more momentum, turnover kills the drive. I think it's just a credit, really, to the defensive coaches and players on both sides.
Well, 2 turnovers here by the Braves, and usually turnovers in close games like this eventually will bite you. Stevens on 3rd and long. Deep over the middle for Mendoza. And just overshot him a little bit. Couple of things there that make me concerned if I'm Tim Maher, defensive coordinator for the Braves. And that is the receiver there for the Bombers had the step. Mendoza on the defensive back. And Stevens there just overshot him a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
They only have to hit that 1 or 2 times. They can go 2 for 10. It's still 14 points. And that's a big concern because they'll keep stretching the field like that if the Braves can't cover. 4th down, little pooch punt from Stevens. They do this quite a bit. And that's how you punt the football. They can't quite get it to stop, though, before it rolls into the end zone. And the Braves will take over from the 20. 2 turnovers for Kamiakin, 2 interceptions by Zach Borish, who came into tonight's game with 16 touchdowns and just 2 interceptions. His other 2 interceptions against Chihuahua. Other than that, he was perfect. Other than that, 15 touchdowns and no interceptions in the other 4 games the Braves have played. And then tonight against the number 1 team in 4A, the Richland Bombers, who came into the game with 11 interceptions, he throws 2 more. On 1st down, Borish hands it. Direct snap, I believe that was to Quested, actually.
You know,
and he goes up the middle and gets some yards.
The Braves, they actually got a huge break there. Zach Borish was running onto the field. He was on the defensive side of the ball when that ball was snapped. The officials didn't catch it. I saw him. He was right about the 30. Stopped when the play started, and the official right next to him didn't see anything. So they got a huge break there on a 7-yard gain.
I think that the play clock was running down, and Quested smartly called for the snap. He gets the carry again there and is close to the first as he got 7 on that first play there, that busted first play, as you astutely pointed out. It'll still be 3rd and short, about 1.5 yards to go. 2:05 to go in the first half. And that is not a typo, folks. No score between Richland and Kamiakin. Defenses have dominated in different ways. Bombers a little bit more opportunistic. The Braves have come up big with big-time plays when they've needed it. Handoff again to Quested, and that's awfully close to the first, but it's going to be close. We'll see where they spot it. He might not have made it. That was 3rd and short, and I don't think he did.
And you wonder what Coach Biglin wants to do here. I mean, the punting obviously hasn't been where it's at. Does he go for it on 4th down here with 1:30 left?
1:30 to go. It's 4th and half a yard, but it's 4th and half a yard from their own 30-yard line. Now, Richland has had some great field position and had some great opportunities. They're 0 for 4 inside the 30 of Kamiakin here in the first half. So, from one end of things, you could say, gee, if I'm Coach Biglin, right, Mark? Why not go for it? Because our defense is stopping them when they're inside the 30. Oh, there it is, the Prize Patrol. They're giving away some goodies. A little barbecue coupon. They've got the foam fingers and the SWX football.
Taking pictures, social media, picture frame there.
They look good. And by the way, you can download that SWX Right Now app on your mobile phone. There's a little bit of a delay with this game. And if you're on television getting some goodies, you can turn around right away and see yourself.
Looks like coach has decided to indeed go with the punt here.
Yeah, out of the timeout, they will punt it away, and it's Bayek again who gets it up, fielded at the 50, and taken into Kamiakin territory by Gavin Brasker, who had a good beat on it. Boy, he's had some nice receptions of punts in a little bit of traffic and been willing to take it in and get some positive yards there. And every little bit helps. And once again, the Bombers, great field position. This isn't the first time, the third time by my count, they've started on the Kamiakin side of the field.
Yeah, and as you mentioned earlier, when Josh Mendoza had beaten, I believe it was Isaiah Brimmer, but Paxton Stevens had just overthrown it. I mean, I would definitely look for a quick shot here, maybe to start it off.
1:23 to go, plenty of time. Both teams still have timeouts. Quick dump off pass to McCary in space. Able to get free. Gets about 5 yards on the screen pass. Clock continues to tick as we approach 1 minute to go in the half. Spot the ball at the 44. It'll be second down and 6. Stevens, another quick pass. This time it's caught by Ryan Piper at the 41. Gain of 2 yards. It's going to be third down and 4. And with 51 seconds left, a timeout by the Richland Bombers, as Coach Neithold and company want to discuss strategy. Get a look there at the Bombers there in their away white uniforms with green and gold trim, green helmets. This might be one of the best years that they've had in a long time to make it to state. One of the reasons why is the bomb defense they got. Rated the top defense in the Mid-Columbia Conference coming into tonight. They were the top defense in the MCC last year, averaging 9.8 points per game. And let's correct that number. 13 interceptions through about 5.5 games here. And this season, they also have 2 shutouts here in Mid-Columbia Conference play.
They're only averaging barely over 200 yards a game. That's a recipe for success.
Third down and 4. Out of the timeout from the 42. Stevens looking for Weisenfels. And it's off the hands, incomplete. That'll be fourth down. I'm going to guess they're going for it here.
Yeah, I would say so. They punted. They had the pooch punt, though, the last time in an offensive formation. But, well, I guess Neithold, maybe the other coaches on the sideline have convinced him to finally just go for the punt here in such a tight defensive battle.
But usually what they'll do is they'll do a little pooch. They'll have Stevens in at quarterback, and they'll pooch it again. And now they'll decide to punt it away. Mendoza on to do that for them. Gets it off. Hard kick that kind of takes a Richland bounce up, and they're able to down it at the 1 yard line. Wow, beautifully done there is Ryan Kriskovich is there at the 1. That was a hard kick as it looked like Mendoza tried to get it off quick. There's a good rush there from the Braves.
Yeah,
but the way
blocked.
it bounced straight up, and Kriskovich alertly ran downfield and downed it right at the 1. So, boy, Kamiakin can't afford to make any mistakes here as we wind down towards the end of the half. Deep in their own end, this is a big concern, possible safety situation.
Possible safety, possibly trying to force a ball, pick 6 kind of territory. That's where you see a lot of those plays happen, is when an offense is trying to get out of their own end zone.
And a timeout here called by Scott Biglin. They want to talk some strategy. It's Richland-Kamiakin rivalry. Started way back when in 1971. 47th meeting between the two schools tonight. Bombers lead the all-time series 25 games to 21. 19 games decided by one score or less. There have been some classic battles. Most recent memory, 2013. Bombers won 56-49 in 4 overtimes. Fran-Risch Stadium, that one was a classic. Coach Neidl told me about another one back in 2000. It was a Saturday afternoon game. It was 110 degrees out. Richland stormed out to a 21-0 lead. They had to stop the game several times for 10 or 15 minutes due to heat exhaustion, and the Braves roared all the way back to win late in the fourth quarter by 3 points. Looks like another dandy brewing here tonight. First down and 10 from the half-yard line. And they'll do a little quarterback sneak to get some room as the game clock now dips under 30 seconds.
And it looks like
both teams are content to let the clock run out. Wasn't sure if the Bombers might try and use another timeout to force them. Believe they had one more left, but they decided to live to fight another half. One half in the books here at Lampson Stadium. Epic battle in the making here between Richland and Kamiakin. There's no score, but there's been plenty of drama and plenty of excitement. Halftime show coming up next on SWX. See a lot of pink shirts in the visitor stands there. There's pink shirts everywhere here at Lampson Stadium tonight. Of course, October is Breast Cancer Awareness Night. Breast Cancer Awareness Month, actually.
Yep.
And tonight, fans are showing support.
Run Kano with their own themed pink shirts. They always represent well.
Absolutely. And a lot of these high schools, both in the Yakima area and here in the Tri-Cities, do a lot of fundraising this month for a very worthy cause. See the Kamiakin Marching Band making its way out onto the field, getting ready for its exciting halftime show. Very cool. Marching band's always a big part of the high school football experience. And, boy, this first half, not a lot of scoring, but there was some excitement. Ben Stanfield helped the Bombers' offense get going early. They had some great opportunities here on one of their early drives. Stanfield had a couple of big 15-yard runs, and they got inside the 30 and then got stoned by this Kamiakin defense. And then it was Parker McCary, their other back they like to use in the backfield, and he had a couple of nice runs on another drive. And once again, Richland was inside the 30 of Kamiakin, and guess what happened, Mark?
Kamiakin stood strong.
They got stoned on fourth down. This Kamiakin defense made the plays when it had to. There you see Drew Sanderson, among others, swarming and getting the big sack to snuff out a drive. Zach Borish and company had some moments offensively, although the Braves certainly struggled more offensively. Borish definitely had some issues. He was able to connect with several different receivers. You saw his outstanding scrambling ability. This was an incredible pass play, complete to Isaiah Brimmer. There was a penalty on it that got them a first down. Braves got deep into Richland territory just once, but then a big mistake here. Pass intended for Benson Smith, intercepted by Alex Chapman, and neither team able to get on the board. And so at the end of the first half, the number 1 team in 4A and the number 7 team in 3A find themselves knotted at 0.
And that's not something I think we thought about, but as you look at the defensive numbers, I mean, maybe makes it more sense that this is such a tight, close game at 0 still.
Well, the Kamiakin front four has been able to get some big sacks when they've needed to, and Richland's defensive backfield, a couple of big interceptions on Zach Borish, who came in with just 2 interceptions on the season, throwing 2 in the first half tonight. And that Bombers defense with 13 on the season, pretty incredible. No score here at the half. Much more to come on the halftime show. Stay with us. You're watching SWX on a Friday night. This SWX broadcast is brought to you by Tri-Cities Perfection Tire. With 4 locations to serve you, nobody beats perfection. Brian Levitan, Mark Mingura with you here on a Friday night at the Lamp. No score between Richland and Kamiakin. What a great battle brewing here between the number 1 team in 4A and the number 7 team in 3A. And some fantastic talent on the field tonight. One of them already with a big interception for the Bombers, Alex Chapman, and our very own Mark Mingura had a chance to chat with him.
Yeah, he's a great guy. I got a chance to go to Bombers practice, talk to himself, as well as Coach Neidhold and his quarterback. And, well, they had nothing but good things to say about Chapman.
The Bombers' offense, but oftentimes it's wide receiver Alex Chapman who keeps them running.
He does a lot, not only getting open, catching the ball, but also even blocking. If I'm scrambling out, does a great job blocking, and he does a great job getting open too, catching the ball, getting upfield. So
Chapman currently leads the MCC in receiving yards and touchdowns and is averaging a robust 26.4 yards per catch. When asked how he does it, Bombers head coach Mike Neidhold said,
"Well, he's sneaky. He keeps playing, and Pax keeps running around back there, and he'll see him down there, and they kind of got this. Well, I'll run as far as I can, and you throw it as far as you can, and hopefully I'll catch it. And a lot of the times he does."
I've always talked to him about keeping a play open for just like scrambling around and keeping his eyes downfield instead of giving up early, and he's really good at that. So.
On the defensive side of the ball, Chapman led the MCC in interceptions last year, and this season, he's right at the top of the leaderboards again. But off the field, he's even better. Neidhold has had him as a student for 2 years now and says he's the type of kid you get into the profession to teach.
There's nothing that he does or that we ask him to do that's too menial of a job. He'll see towels in the locker room floor and pick them up. He'll see a kid sitting in class that needs a partner, and he's over there helping him out. He's worked hard to be a class human being. He's worked really hard to be a very, very good high school football player.
Repping the green and gold is more than wearing a Letterman's jacket to Chapman. For him, it's a tradition passed down through his long list of family members who are Bomber alum.
My uncles, my aunts, my grandparents, my parents, everybody, and it's just a big deal. It's tradition around here to be good. Just love being a Bomber.
There's no doubt he's representing his family and the Bombers well on and off the field, and his quarterback knows it all too well.
He's a great friend. Alex is actually, when I first moved here, he was one of my first friends, and he's a damn good football player. I don't know if I can say that, but.
Well, I guess he just did.
You talk about the friendship. We saw that with the connections, the almost connections in the first half with the near touchdown to Chapman. But we also saw him make plays again on the defensive side of the ball with that interception. We've got some halftime updates around the MCC. Chiawana leading Southridge 34-0. Kennewick down 13-7 to Hanford, and then Walla Walla up 21-0 over Pasco near halftime over there.
And here at Lampson Stadium, it's no score between Richland and Kamiakin. Second half coming up in just a bit. You're watching high school football on a Friday night here on SWX. Boy, this second half is going to be a good one, I think. This is a game I've had circled on my calendar for some time. See the pink shirts there in the Run Canoe student section. That is in honor of Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and boy, this Kamiakin High School has done some great fundraising.
Yeah, Run Kano, the student body group, basically all week. $13 out of every $20 shirt sold went towards this fundraising effort. In total, they raised $8,900 for breast cancer awareness. You can see the kids there. They always bring the phone lights out when they play this song. Kind of a tradition. Both sides do it, too. It's awesome to see it in person.
Now, do you know this song, or are you too young to know it? It's Journey, Don't Stop Believing.
See the kids always, both these schools, Kamiakin and Richland always represent well, and I love this. I love when they do this. It's just something fun, and you can hear them singing along there. A great part of the halftime here.
No, it's been a lot of fun. been a lot of fun to watch, a lot of good student spirit there. And both grandstands here packed tonight at Lampson Stadium for what we knew well ahead of time was going to be one of the great games this regular season. As we have some people here auditioning for The Voice, perhaps. But this game right here, no score in it. Both teams have had some great opportunities. Couple of interceptions have snuffed out promising opportunities for the Braves. Bombers had 4 opportunities inside Kamiakin's 30-yard line and failed to score. Stoned on 4th down 4 times by bend but don't break Braves defense. And speaking of the Braves, they will begin the second half with the football. Tonight's second half kickoff brought to you by Holiday Inn Express in Richland. And Adam Weissenfels will do the honors for the Bombers. Darian Moore back to receive. Gotta think they probably won't kick it to him, though. A high kick. Doesn't go very far. Fielded at the 25-yard line by one of the upbacks and not able to take it very far at all, but still some decent field position for the Braves, comparatively speaking, to where they were starting oftentimes in the first half as they begin from their own 28-yard line.
I mean, you talk about last half, the last drive, they started on the half-yard line, so I think they'll take anything better than that to start off their second half scoring.
They will go to Jethro Quested up the middle, and the Bombers front 4 defensively doesn't let him get much. Quested has some success running the football and catching the football out of the backfield in the second quarter, particularly later in the second quarter, but doesn't get much on that first down run. Be second down and 8 now from the 30. And again, nothing doing. Oh, a play action, wow. And the pass through the hands of Benson Smith. Boy, I thought that Quested got that. Great play fake there by Zach Borish, and Benson Smith just hit as soon as he tried to catch that by Alex Chapman, who already has an interception in this football game, his 4th on the season to lead the Mid-Columbia Conference, and then makes a big-time hit there to prevent the reception. 3rd down and long from the 30. A lot of time for Borish. Going to go near side of the field and completes the pass. Out to the 45-yard line. Enough for the first down. Caught by Jethro Quested. Borish was looking down the field there, Mark. Nothing doing, and he checked it down. That was the right call.
Yeah, you know, and it helps to have a back like Quested who is reliable out of the backfield to catch the ball. You know, oftentimes when a play's going that long, he's got a lot of field ahead of him.
1st and 10 from the 45. And that pass incomplete. Tended over the middle for Benson Smith. Josh Mendoza with a big hit.
Yeah, he was right on there. Just hit him in the right spot. And, you know, it was a great throw, but Mendoza there dislodges it.
Play fake to Quested, and Borish doesn't get much. Tried to hesitate a little bit, and none of the Bombers were buying it. He gets a half yard. It'll be 3rd down and long, so had a promising pass play there, but really not much else on this drive other than that. Now it's in danger of petering out pretty quickly. Bombers show blitz. Borish has to get rid of it quickly. Completes the pass to Benson Smith. He breaks free and fumbles it as he gets out of bounds there in Richland territory, short of the first down, but down to the 47 of Richland. The first down markers at the 45 of Richland. Benson Smith there, fortunate because he fumbled it out of bounds, and it's still an 8-yard pickup.
Yeah, it looks like the Braves, barring a pooch, they're going to go for it here.
They will go for it on 4th and 1. Borish will run. Boy, he got hit right away. Where do they mark him down? I don't think he got there.
I think he just got about just back to the line of scrimmage there.
He got hit behind the line of scrimmage, and it did not look promising. Are they going to measure? No, they will say it is Richland football. So the Bombers take over from their own 45. Both defenses continue to bow up when they need to.
And, Coach Bigland there, in games like this, when it's tight, you have to take those risk plays. I mean, that was definitely one. Had it paid off, he's a genius. Had he not, obviously the play didn't work out the way he wanted to, but you have to take those risks in a game like this against a team like Richland.
Bombers get their first opportunity of the second half. And once again with great field position. Question is, can they capitalize? The score remains 0-0. McCary gets the carry. Takes it just across the line of scrimmage. A flag gets thrown up in the air. Our first one of the second half. Boy, both teams got whistled for quite a few penalties in the first half.
A big reason we're scoreless now.
His mic's off just if he tries to go and you can't hear it.
Hold against Richland.
That's a 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. Replay, first down.
And the 10-yard penalty hurts. And this offensive line has blocked really well for the run. They've had a lot of success running the football. But it's the penalties more than not being able to win that battle in the trenches necessarily that's hurt them the most. So now it's first down and 21. Hand off to McCary. They were hoping the draw play might fool this Kamiakin defense, but it did not. And he just gets back to the current line of scrimmage, which is the 35. It'll be second and 21.
You got to think, that was another high pass we saw there, or a high snap, we saw there. I think we had about 3 or 4 of those in the first half. You got to think that that's knocking off the timing of their plays offensively. And, that's just any little thing, especially backed up here, second and 20, 21. Those little things really hurt.
High snap. Hand off to McCary. Gets a little room, and he's gone. Near side of the field. Inside the 20. Before the Braves can push him out. "45-yard run by Parker McCary. And the Bombers are knocking on the door. A flag on the field, though. Let's see what this is about. Looks like that's going to be some kind of a hold or block in the back from the spot.
Illegal block in the back against the offense, number 23. The 10-yard penalty will be enforced from the spot of the foul. It'll be second down.
And again, penalties, killing drives. That penalty takes 45 yards away from them, however long that run was, and that's just a killer for this offense that it really hasn't been able to get on track like they're used to doing.
The good news, though, for the Bombers is it's second down and 1, because it was second down and 21. So they still get a chunk of those yards. Good news for the Braves, of course, is it could have been worse. McCary, little hesitation, finds a little bit of room to the near sideline. That should be enough to move the sticks based on where the official is marking him out. It'll be first down, Richland. So they get the first down, most importantly. A new set of downs on Kamiakin's side of the field. But this has been a familiar scenario for the Bombers. Question is, can they get them some points? And sooner or later, if you allow this Braves team to hang around and hang around, they might just sniff out an upset, especially on their home field. Stevens gonna fire it over the middle on play action. Pass was caught by Chapman, then knocked out of his hands and recovered by Kamiakin. Drew Sanderson was there to grab it. Chapman made the catch, got popped, the ball came loose, and Sanderson fell on it.
And there's that Stevens to Chapman, that connection, but man, nice hit there, pops it loose. And the Braves, you talked about letting them hang around, and we've seen the momentum shift back and forth, but maybe this is finally one of those plays that gets them going.
And Sanderson was the one who popped it loose. He also fell on it for the Braves. And a flag on the first play from scrimmage offensively for the Braves. They have it first down and 10 from their own 27. That's going to be a false start.
Dead ball, false start, number 2. That's a 5-yard penalty. Replay first down.
Well, the stalemate continues here at the Lamp on this cool October Friday night. Temperature at about 50 degrees, wind blowing about 10 miles an hour. The only thing cooler than the temperature outside is the offensive output for both of these teams. Pass is complete, and the receiver on the far side's got some space into Richland territory. Pass was caught by Benson Smith. That was a 51-yard pass, and it was mostly Smith. One time this Richland secondary misses on an open field tackle, and Benson Smith makes him pay with his speed.
Had 2 quick cuts, and he was gone down the sideline.
Braves threatening again. Borish on the keeper. Gets a few positive yards on 1st and 10 from the 42. Ball moved to the 39. Three turnovers in this football game. Neither team has been able to get any points off of them, although yet to be determined for the Bombers after the fumble recovery. Pass through the hands of Darian Moore. Wide open, went up for it. Got hit as he tried to bring it in. And that's one that number 18 wishes he could have back, I'm sure.
Yeah, a little high on the throw, and I think maybe the rolling out maybe didn't let him put it in exactly the spot he wanted. But Boris, I think that's usually a pass you see him make. Again, a little high there, maybe not as quick, getting it as quick because he's rolling out to his right.
Yeah, sailed on him a little bit. 3rd and long, play action. Going deep, far side of the field. Had Isaiah Brimmer. Well defended by Adam Weissenfels as he got his hand up and knocked it loose.
And I think that's only, if I'm correct, only his first target of the night. I would think you want to go at that matchup. But Brimmer, I believe he's at least 6'7", maybe even 8 inches taller than most of these defensive backs out there. And that's really the first time they've targeted him all night.
4th down and 8 now from the 39. Not seeing Borish out there. They are going to punt it away. It's a high spiraling punt that bounces at the 4 and into the end zone for the touchback. So the Braves unable to convert on the turnover into some points. So they got the big forced fumble and then the recovery after the Alex Chapman reception deep in their own end. The Bombers defense comes through. It has been a defensive battle. Usually that's the case when two teams have good offenses and good defenses. It's the defenses that will shine through. Paxton Stevens, big number 17, senior quarterback. Try and lead his Bombers down the field 80 yards for a score. Here with 7:48 to go in the third. Dropping back to throw. Quick slant pass. Caught by Weissenfels. The 24-yard line. We'll get about 4 yards. And Paxton Stevens, two-year starter here at Richland, broke his back during basketball season of his his sophomore season. and missed all the spring and summer program. Only got 14 practices before his first start as a junior quarterback against Gonzaga Prep, the eventual state champs in 4A. And what a career he's had. Quick pass over the middle by Stevens. In the gut of Piper, but he couldn't hang on. It'll be 3rd down and 6. That probably should have been caught. And Paxton Stevens seems a little bit more on point with his passes here in the second half, but still having some trouble with his receivers catching the ball.
Yeah, he made a great move there. The defensive end or defensive back had a free rush on him, pumps it, made him jump, made him move, and like you said, a pinpoint throw there. And if they're gonna start getting on a roll with this offense, they're gonna need the receivers to step up here in the second half.
Both of these quarterbacks have great moxie and poise. Pressure situations. Stevens rolling, and this one is caught by Piper, stretching for the first. And it looks like he might have gotten there. Hey, Markham just past the 30. And the chain gang is walking downfield. Big 3rd down conversion there. And a great pass play there, rolling out, avoiding pressure by Stevens.
And what do? Your guy drops the ball the play before. What do? You show him some confidence. You go right back to him, and he makes a big play for you.
Well, they got a lot of guys among the league leaders in the Mid-Columbia Conference in the receiving category. Piper is one of them. Braves showing a little blitz. Quick pass, far side of the field, open man, but a little bit too far ahead of Gavin Brasker for him to make a play on it. And they've had the guy deep open. And Stevens, he's got a big arm, and he always seems to lead them a little bit too much. It's a tough throw to make, and if you can ever lock that in, boy, you become a pretty hot commodity at the college level. There you see head coach Scott Bigland of the Kamiakin Braves, probably a little bit concerned with how that receiver there was defended.
Well, they play a lot of man, and unfortunately, when you're dealing with fast receivers, that can happen.
2nd and 10. Stevens gonna run it himself. And there you see that speed out to midfield, a little bit before midfield. They mark him out at the 47 of Richland. But another Bomber first down.
Yeah, I was at practice again, of course, this week, and when I saw him take off from the pocket, all his teammates on the sideline saying, why doesn't he do that more? He's so fast. And we get a little taste of it right there.
Yeah, he's more of a traditional type passer, but while he isn't as shifty or scramble-like as Borish, he's got the speed, the wheels to really burn somebody if he gets open, get some room to run. 1st and 10 from the 47. Hand off to McCary. He's got space up the middle. Cuts it back across the 40 for another Richland first. Once again, Kamiakin on its heels defensively, but they always seem to bend without breaking. When that field shortens up on Richland, it gets a little bit tougher. Gary does a nice job of running downhill, but also cutting back. He's very shifty.
He's got good vision, and he's putting it on full display tonight. That's definitely for sure.
Gary again. Finds a little space. Down to the 16. What a beautiful run. Little hesitation there, waiting for the hole to develop, showing a lot of patience. Another big 15-yard run gives Richland a first down.
And this time he bounces it out to the left, see the vision, seeing the hole to the right, and then just puts his head down for that last couple of yards there.
Allowing Weissenfels there to create that block for him and give him space. Inside the 20. 6 minutes to go in the third. Stevens throws over the middle, off the hands of Brasker. A little bit too far out in front. That thing went up in the air. That could be dangerous if there's, safety on the backside. If there wasn't, it'll be incomplete, second down.
And we'll see now in 5:53 left in the third if that Kamiakin defense, this is the time of the game where they start to get tired when an offense is driving down the field. We'll see how they hold up, if they can keep it scoreless again.
High snap on 2nd and 10. Stevens up the middle. He's going to go for it. Touchdown! Stevens using his legs for 6.
Oh, man, what an athletic play there. Again, the high snap. You know what? Maybe the high snap isn't hurting them, because the last time I said that, they ran for a 20-yard gain, and now it happens again, and they get the first touchdown of the game.
17-yard run by number 17. Gets a big rushing touchdown. And that drive primarily fueled by the run. What a big hit there by Dante Powell. A little bit after he ran by, but still. He's got some nice blocking to open up that hole. Kind of a delayed run. I believe that was designed, though. And on for the extra point is Weissenfels. He won't get the opportunity, though, because there's a flag first. Finally, at the 5:46 mark of the third quarter, we have some offense.
Dead ball encroachment against the defense, number 42. That penalty will be enforced half the distance to the goal. Re-kick.
So Weissenfels will get a little bit closer shot at the extra point with the encroachment penalty. And the kick is up and good to make it 7-0 Richland. And the number one team in 4A finally gets some points against their arch rival in the Mid-Columbia Conference. 7-0 on a 17-yard scamper by quarterback Paxton Stevens. The difference thus far. You're watching high school football on SWX. Well, if at first you don't succeed, they say to try again, and the Bombers did that. 0 for 4 inside the 30 of Kamiakin in the first half, and finally here in the second half, they break through on a 17-yard touchdown run on second down from the 17 of Kamiakin. Paxton Stevens takes it all the way into the house. A rushing touchdown for the quarterback who likes to throw it most of the time. And you had remarked about how athletic he looked in practice this week, although he's not known for a lot of running. They had some success with it. Had some success running the football in general. As the kickoff here by Kamiakin is returned, or by Richland, I should say, is returned by Kamiakin. And Benson Smith out to the 26-yard line. So Zach Borish and the Braves try to respond now as they find themselves in a hole. No score up until the 5:56 mark of the third quarter. Braves taking on their arch rival, an underdog here, although not much of one, against the number one 4A team in Richland. They, of course, rank number 7 in 3A. Quick pass here on first down, complete to Benson Smith. Nice pickup of 7 yards. It'll be second short. Play action, another pass to Smith. Tried to get the block from Brimmer, couldn't quite get there in time, and good job by Alex Chapman of wrapping up Benson Smith before he could break free. Smith had a big catch and a lot of yards after the catch earlier on in this first half, but the Braves unable to come away with points. Third and short. Borish looking to the sidelines here. Plenty of time on the play clock. He'll throw. Feeling pressure. Can he escape? He does. How does he do it? Looking downfield. Over the middle. Caught Benson Smith across the 50. Inside the 40. Brought down at the 43-yard line by Willie Harshaw. What a play by Zach Borish.
You know, my goodness, dare I say channeling his inner Russell Wilson. I mean, I thought this was a for sure sack. You see number 90 here and 44. I mean, he's got him by the shoulder pad, around the waist. He just slips the tackle, and then he finds Benson Smith. This kid is dangerous when plays are broken.
What a great job of keeping your eyes down the field. Now the handoff to Quested. He's dancing down to the 31 on first down. Well, the Braves admitted it, and I didn't mean to interrupt you there, sorry. The Braves admitted it. They said, hey, we got punched in the mouth against Chihuahua. We didn't like it, and we didn't get back up. What are they doing right now after the Bombers get the first score of the football game? They're getting back up. Play action. Borish looking for Brimmer near side. And there's a flag. Brimmer wanted the flag. He got one hand on it, and he seemed to be insinuating that the defensive back was grabbing his other arm. That's why he couldn't haul it in. So pass interference will be a 15-yard penalty and a first down for Kamiakin. Alex Chapman was on the coverage.
I mean, if you look back at the play, Brimmer has the step. And as we'll see exactly what that flag was here from the official first.
Wise to do that because I make a lot of mistakes.
Now I wonder if they're debating whether he pushed off there at the end.
Pass interference against the defense, number 8. That's a 15-yard penalty, results in a first down.
Well, the home crowd here definitely likes it. The Run Cano student section definitely voices their approval.
You know, as far as the Richland Bombers go, that's maybe, it was probably a touchdown. If he doesn't make that penalty, he probably scores a touchdown there. So it's honestly a smart penalty, much to the chagrin of Kamiakin Braves fans.
15-yard penalty moves it up to the 16 of Richland. Handoff to Quested up the middle. He got popped by Brigham Whitby. Still got positive yards, but man, did he get hit. And Brigham Whitby is a big fella, 6 feet, 275 pounds. I believe getting some looks from the College of Idaho. Had several players on the Bombers here. Definitely getting some interest at the college level. And coaches say he's their best defensive player, most versatile defensive player. That was a big hit. About a 3-yard gain on first down. Play action, Borish scrambling and somehow getting away. Airs it up. That could be intercepted, and it's caught by Brimmer for the touchdown. Come on! A prayer answered for Kamiakin.
Well, man, what do you expect? A guy that big, if you're going to chuck it up, you better be throwing it to him, because at 6'6", that's the play that he can make for you. What a grab.
Ironically, he didn't really jump up for it. Take another look at this. This was wild. This was up for grabs. It looked like it could have been picked off.
I mean, it's a teardrop of a throw here, and Brimmer just fights the defender for it.
He just had the better angle on Weissenfels and timed a little bit better. Using his basketball skills there, as I mentioned earlier, Isaiah Brimmer, all-conference selection on the basketball court. And those skills come in handy as the Braves tie things up, potentially on this extra point. Garrett Paxton on to attempt the kick. And it is up. And it is good. Officially, it is 7-7.
And we go 30 minutes of football with no score, and then in less than 3, we get 2 touchdowns. Figure that out.
Got another classic here in the making. Isaiah Brimmer, 6'6", 205. And he just skied for the rebound there. Perhaps not skying, but just elbowing for position and then jumping up to the ball first.
That big frame, I mean, Adam Weisenfeld is a great player and athlete in his own right, but
5'9", 160 versus 6'6", 205. That's a tough fight. How about Borish? I mean, second time here, should have been sacked dead to rights and gets away. Boy, Jax Lee and Braden Powell have just got to be fuming on the sidelines. Within a whisker twice of sacking him on that drive. And he gets 2 big pass plays, one of them a game-tying touchdown. So the Braves will kick it away here. 3:03 left in the third. All tied at 7. 47th meeting between Richland and Kamiakin. Shaping up to be another classic. 19 of the previous meetings decided by 1 score or less. It was just back in 2013 where the Bombers won in 4 overtimes. How will this story end tonight? Another great chapter in this rivalry for sure. It's been fun. A defensive battle, but now the offenses are starting to wake up. And we have seen some special players that I'm quite certain, Mark, we'll be talking about for some time. Make some great plays. Zach Borish with a couple of incredible scrambles. What an amazing kid. A judoka. And a star quarterback, too. This game right here can be seen again Sunday, October 9th at noon. Classic game tonight. I encourage everyone to tune in again on Sunday. Get the popcorn out and enjoy one more time. There is the kickoff from Garrett Paxton, and it sails into the end zone for the touchback. So the Bombers will start out from their own 20-yard line. A nice boot there from Garrett Paxton. All tied up at 7 here, and Mark, gotta wonder how this thing will finish off.
Yeah, finally some offense rolling here. We'll see if they can keep up or if this reverts back to that defensive struggle we saw for much of this game.
Couple of gunslingers going at it. Zach Borish just said, hey, Paxton Stevens, what do you got for me? Stevens tries to go for it all. Deep throw for Alex Chapman. They just have not been able to connect.
You know, that's the third time that the Richland receiver has beaten his man, whether it's by a step, 2 steps. And, yeah, Stevens struggling with his deep ball accuracy right now, just overthrowing them by a couple of yards each time.
It has not been perhaps his most accurate throwing night. But he's only got to hit 1 or 2 of them, and all of a sudden, that's all that matters. That's all anyone remembers. 2nd and 10, play action, over the middle. This one is caught by Brasker. Almost gets away. Finally brought down into Kamiakin territory. At the 46. That was a bullet over the middle. Brasker had the angle on the defender.
And you mentioned all it matters is if he hits 1 or 2 of them. That pass looks like he had to kind of spin around for it, but, man, 20-plus yards, and they're in business.
That was just a bullet of a throw. Another way you can show off Stevens' arms. He can throw it far, but he can throw it hard, too, and that was a fastball for sure. Stevens will run it between the right tackle and guard, and he slides down for a 6-yard gain. Officially, it's going to be 2nd down and 5 with the slide. So first it was Stevens and the Bombers offense, then Borish and the Braves answer with a counterpunch. Now the Bombers jab it away again on offense. High snap, quick dump-off pass to Stanfield. Got a little space, Stanfield down the near sideline. 1 man to beat, cuts it back. Inside the 5. Down at the 1. Right before they say touchdown. Boy, they took their sweet time. They just wanted me to correct myself. Come on, man.
Man, it was close. It was debatable, but definitely a touchdown there.
Touchdown Bombers. 43 yards. Stevens to Stansfield. Take us through it, Mark.
I mean, the whole defense, you saw 4 guys rushing up the field. They were selling out for it, and the speed to split those defenders there, the beautiful cutback there, and he just carries number 4 into the end zone, and it was close, but it looks like he rolled in there.
Yeah, I think when he rolled, the question was, did his knee hit? And they're going to say it didn't hit. He kept it up, and then he went across the goal line. And I think the officials were just conferring with each other to confirm it. The extra point is up and good to make it 14-7. So no score up until the 5:56 mark of the 3rd quarter, and then we have back-to-back-to-back scores.
Within the last 4 minutes now, we've got 3 scores. Paxton Stevens, Isaiah Brimmer, now Ben Stanfield.
Great blocking downfield for Stanfield, and he makes a couple of beautiful moves here. This cutback here was sweet.
Yes,
he just
it
totally
was.
deked Sanderson out of his shoes.
And the strength to carry, he got him at 7-8 yards, and he just rumbled through and kept going. And, at 6'1", 175, that's a good job there.
Well, everybody likes to do it a little bit differently. Chihuahua, they ride Andrew Vargas like Secretariat, and he's their guy. He's already over 1,400 yards rushing. The Bombers have always had a lot of success with a running back by committee. They've had a three-pronged attack at times, and technically they have three backs they'll use here in Stanfield, McCary, and then Strasser. But mostly it's been Stanfield and McCary this season with a lot of success. And some of these guys here tonight will go down as legends, I'm sure, when their season is complete. A lot of legends of the game here at Richland High School. John Myers, a two-time Rose Bowl champ and played 6 years in the NFL. How about the Confensis brothers? All five played at the University of Hawaii. We'll pop that graphic up again a little bit later on and go over some of the other legends. On the kickoff, Braves take it out to the 26.
You mentioned legends. It's a tradition, again, of winning at Richland High School. A lot of Bombers alum proud to represent that green and gold at the games as we see the stands full.
First down and 10 for number 15 in the Braves. He rolls, looking to throw on first down. Great protection, guns it near side of the field. Was that nearly intercepted? Intended for Darian Moore. Looked like the defensive back. It was kind of hard to see there, screened a little bit on the television, but it looked like Chapman might have had a better beat on that ball.
Yeah, it looked like Moore was open initially, but Boris had to slow down and set his feet, and that really allowed Chapman to kind of get on the ball and really contest that pass.
Still plenty of time in this football game. 1:28 to go in the third quarter. Handoff to Quested up the middle. Doesn't get much, but gets some positive yards. It'll be third down and long still. Quested is, boy, he's shown a lot of fight. He's been a warrior tonight several times, just carrying defenders to get the extra yards, to get first downs. And been a great safety valve out of the backfield at receiver. Borish over the middle, wide open, Benson Smith, and he can't quite hang on. Ball comes loose, but they ruled incomplete. Benson Smith went up, and he took one for the team, and then some. He got popped a couple of times as he tried to haul that in. Really gutty play by the receiver, but it'll be fourth down.
And, that's a tough spot. In the middle of the field, you're kind of putting yourself at risk there, and Mendoza jars it loose, but a great, like you said, gutsy effort, great attempt there by Benson Smith, but the Bombers' defense proves how strong they are in the defensive backfield once again.
Yeah, great job there. Beautifully timed hit, legal hit, shoulder hit by Mendoza. Well executed. Low snap, scooped up and just booted away. Takes one bounce. Brasker fields it with a couple of black shirts right at him. He is fearless. It's almost a little bit dangerous. Doesn't get anything on that return, but clearly a playmaker.
I think it
mentality
kind of goes
for
back
sure.
to the if he sees a chance to either gain yards or save yards for the Bombers, he's going to take it. I mean, like you said, all night, I think on a few of his punts, he's caught it and fielded it with two or more Braves around him. And it's either, he's been pretty careful with it beyond that, either no gain or he's got, a few yards for the Bombers.
Had a little motion there before the snap.
Dead ball, false start against number 5 of the offense. That's a 5-yard penalty. Replay first down.
That'll back up the Bombers to the 33-yard line and be first down and 15 now. 44 seconds to go in the third quarter. 21 points scored in the last 5 minutes. Stevens over the middle. Pass caught by Ryan Piper. They get 10 yards. This Bombers team starting to hum along. The passing game, which seemed a little bit out of sorts, a little bit out of sync, has started to pick up and get its timing down.
Yeah,
20 seconds to go in the quarter. Go ahead.
Ryan Piper, one of those guys, just another Bomber, another one of those short, shifty guys. Came into the night, 14 catches, 149 yards, just averaging about 10 yards a catch. Picks up 10 right there.
They'll let the clock trickle down to zeros. 14-7. The Bombers have taken the lead thanks to a big Ben Stanfield reception of 43 yards. You're watching high school football on SWX. Start of the fourth quarter. Bombers have the football from their 42-yard line. It'll be 2nd down and 6. Stevens got a lot of time and completes the pass to Chapman. About a 5-yard gain in the slot there. They'll take it. And a lot more momentum building with this passing attack. And they're doing these short yardage passes and moving the football that way rather than strictly going for the deeper ball.
Yeah, well, I think Stevens has, obviously struggled to hit those, even though he's had open receivers, but the short game sets that up.
3rd and short. High snap. Sails over the head of Stevens. McCary fields it and takes it across the 49-yard line for the first down.
You know what?
Wow, sometimes things are just going your way, and they are right now for the Bombers.
I think they ought to high snap at every play on purpose, because the last time they did it, he got a touchdown, and then they get a first down here. Some teams, everything just rolls their way. And it seems, for the most part, with these high snaps, it's rolling the Bombers' way.
I think they got lucky because that high snap took a clean bounce up rather than usually with the football, it'll bounce at an awkward angle. And so McCary was able to field it pretty cleanly. Stevens gets hit, and he loses it on the keeper. Recovered by the Braves.
And there you go. Momentum shift again. They get lucky on the first play. Then the Braves come up with a big turnover here.
Big time turnover as Stevens got popped and ran into McCary, who was trying to set the block.
See if they can take advantage now.
Big momentum shift at midfield. Jethro Quested off the right side, gets 5 yards. Second down and 5 from the 45. Quested again up the middle. A lot of room. Almost breaks it off. Stopped at the 31. First down, Kamiakin.
A great run there. Look at this. He's hits the hole with just a ton of power. Not really a shifty guy, so kind of a one-cut north and south runner, and a great gain there.
Borish scrambling on first down. He won't get away this time. Powell and Lee corral him for the big-time sack, and a huge loss on first down of 12 yards. And this drive just went from firing on all cylinders to just blowing up a little bit.
Yeah, I think at this point we kind of expect Borish to sprinkle his fairy dust out there on the field and get out of that. But, a good defensive play there by the Bombers.
Still a great opportunity for Kamiakin to capitalize on the turnover. Borish didn't feel it. And again, that defensive front bowing up. This time it's the big fella, Brigham Whitby, swallowing him. And Borish goes down for another sack. It'll be third down and even longer.
And I think Boris thought he saw some room there, but, man, it closed in a hurry as Whitby brought him down.
3rd and 22. 5 receivers for the Braves here as they have the ball on the Richland 44. Borish going deep for Brimmer, and it's picked off. Weissenfels with his 2nd interception. Snags it at the 10. Looking for Brimmer, but he overshot him.
Weisenfels, smart, played it deep, didn't let Brimmer get over the top of him. We saw how that matchup went the last time on the other side of the field when Brimmer was able to get the touchdown over him. But just a really good athlete for the Bombers, and he's able to read it, pick it, and now the Bombers have the ball again.
3rd interception of the game for Richland. Bombers have 14 on the season through a little more than 5.5 games. That is crazy. Now, this particular interception essentially functions like a punt. So it's not particularly damaging. But it's still a little disappointing for the Braves, who were hoping to come away with much more, but the sacks just buried him. Stanfield takes it left side, finds a little seam there and gets the first down, and he has burned them. Braves got to be careful that they stay focused on defense here because Stanfield can rip one off in a hurry.
And I think, they've been pushing that run game. Obviously haven't been extremely successful passing the ball, but they have been running it. Hasn't led to a lot of points, but it's at that time in the game where the defense, they start to get tired. It's like a body blow every time they run the ball, and they're going to be, if they can get off a big run like that, it's going to hurt even more.
Play action, Stevens, far side. Looking for Brasker in this particular instance, and again overshot him a little bit. Those pass plays do keep the Braves honest defensively, even if they're not able to convert on them as much as they'd like.
And I think that's really honestly been a big part of why, like you said, keeps them honest, and that's been a big reason why they've been able to break some of these big runs, because they can't just stack the box every time because the receivers are getting open. They're just not able to connect.
Stevens going to roll on 2nd and 10. Feeling a little pressure. Looking for Chapman, and it's picked off! Down to the 14. Colton Chellen with a big interception. And the Braves are back in business.
And Stevens looking for his guy, Alex Chapman, but Chetlin, man, he reads this perfectly. He's just watching Stevens' eyes as Stevens, sees the pressure coming, throwing off his back foot, never a good thing for a quarterback, and he reads it, picks it, almost takes it to the house there. Couldn't get the cutback quite right, but a big play. The Braves need to convert here.
3 black shirts within striking different distance of that football. Probably should have thrown it away. Borish on 1st down, scrambles, loses it, and it's picked up by Richland.
Are you kidding me? What?
Garrett Guffey gets it.
Back and forth goes the ball.
That's
wow.
3 turnovers.
Wow. Oh, man, and you just see Boris. You're just trying to make a play, knowing how important this possession is, and Weisenfeld's helmet on a football, that's going to pop out 99% of the time.
Wow. Boris with an interception, and Stevens with an interception, and then Boris feeling the pressure, trying to scramble and make a play, which more often than not he does. He coughs it up, and boy, Stevens with that interception probably should have just thrown it out of bounds, which he's been doing a better job of. So they hand it off here on 1st down. And McCary takes it out of bounds, far side of the field to the 25. But so Stevens probably should have thrown it away, and he ends up having it picked off, and it looked like the Braves were in business there to get a quick touchdown and tie things up. And then Boris probably should have just taken the sack there and just tried to make a play, and that's, you can't really fault him for having that mentality, and he coughed it up, Mark.
Yeah, you obviously you rally around a guy who's trying his best and, not giving up. But just unfortunate for Boris that's the way that play ended.
2nd and 8. Stevens rolls to the far side, and he gets popped for the sack. It's Bayek coming in from the outside. Stevens didn't see him.
As they play Miley Cyrus here to commemorate the hits, Alex Bayek, what a read, what a play.
Well, Bayek was the one who forced the fumble just a couple of offensive series ago against the Bombers. The Braves were able to recover there.
Yeah, he's been all over the field. He's having himself a game.
One of our defensive impact players to watch for the Kamiakin Braves, and there's an example of why. 3rd and 18 now. Stevens pulls back, now going to gun it out of bounds. Practically throws it into the stands. Got a good look at his arm there. This time wanted to make sure it wasn't picked off.
Yeah, he was looking for Gavin Brasker there down the sideline, but saw the defense over the top and decided to make the safe play.
So 4th and 18, Richland will punt it away, and boy, all these turnovers and no points.
Oh,
it's crazy. 3 turnovers on successive series after touchdowns on 3 successive series. Low snap on the punt. Mendoza can't get it away. Down he goes at the 7.
Wow.
Man alive.
High snaps, now a low snap, and a turn of events for the Braves again.
They're saying Talmadge Jacobson brought him down. It's tough to see the red numbers from that far out. Boy, low snap, and Mendoza tried to scoop it, could not get it off. Excellent field position now for the Braves with 7:04 to go in the 4th. Got a great chance to tie it up here, Mark, but don't want to speak too soon. Not the way things are going. Boy, we just felt with this stalemate that things were going to get a little bit kooky in the second half, and they sure have. Handoff to Benson Smith. Out of the backfield, takes it down to the 5. Three-yard pickup. It'll be 2nd and goal.
Benson Smith, I believe it's his first carry of the game. One of their best wide receivers, but he can hurt them. He can hurt defenses running the ball as well.
Zach Borish, after that last fumble, gets an olive branch, and got to think 15 wants to take advantage of it. Handoff to Quested. Hit first in the backfield. Great play by Dante Powell. Big fella at 6'6", 310 reaches around and grabs his ankle. Quested doesn't get much. And now it's going to be 3rd down and goal from the 4. There are no guarantees here against this Richland D for Kamiakin.
I think the only guarantee is if they don't get it here, they're going for it on 4th.
A little adjustment there in the lineup as Darian Moore comes out onto the field. Splits out wide to the far side. Play clock down to 10. Borish play action. Over the middle looking for more, and it's knocked away. Knocked away at the last second. I believe it was Mendoza who got in there. 4th and 4 for the Braves. Do they go for the field goal here? Or do they try for the touchdown? 5:42 left, plenty of time. Gonna take a timeout. 5:42 to go in this football game. Another classic between Richland and Kamiakin. Bombers in front for the moment, 14-7. You're watching high school football on SWX.
Tonight's SWX broadcast is brought to you by Northwest Motorsport. Find trucks, and more trucks at nwmsrocks.com.
Out of the timeout. And a big 4th down and goal from the 4-yard line for the Kamiakin Braves. They are going for it. Borish lobs it up. Caught! Isaiah Brimmer!
with the defender all over him.
Touchdown, Braves!
Isaiah Brimmer. Wow. That's all I have to say about that. Alex Chapman was draped all over him.
What a great play there by Borish, lobbing it up for the big fella. And he went up and got it. Weisenfeld's much shorter, Mark. 5'9" versus 6'6", and they exploited that matchup.
Oh, they definitely did. Brimmer just using the frame to just kind of like basketball, out-rebound him, almost box him out for that ball. And pending this extra point, tied up.
Snap is good, and the kick is up and good. Boy, that was close, as it looked like Weisenfeld's almost got a hand on it. Had to wait for the official signal that it was a good extra point. And this game is tied 14-14 on a 4-yard touchdown pass from Borish to Brimmer on 4th down and goal. Boy, this has turned into some kind of a football game. Coming up next Thursday. It's October 13th, 7 o'clock. It'll be the Hanford Falcons at the Southridge Suns right here at the Lamp. And then on Friday night, it'll be Walla Walla at Richland at Fran Risch Stadium. Again, a 7 o'clock kickoff. Part of the reason why we have 2 games next week, that's because we're going to have Richland and Chiawana at Edgar Brown in a couple of weeks. That's right, little adjustment to the schedule. Make sure we get that one on the calendar.
Yeah, it's going to be a great next 2 weeks. 3 football games, Thursday nighter, Friday, and then Friday again. Man, I can't wait for those matchups.
Well, this game could end up being more than one football game. Could very well end up going into overtime. All tied at 14 apiece here. 5:37 to go in the fourth quarter. Garrett Paxton will attempt the kickoff here. A low liner of a kick bounces off the up back McCary, and he leaves it for Brasker, who takes it out to the 15. So the Bombers here, obviously a little bit frustrated after the special teams miscue mark cost them deeply with Josh Mendoza. And then they give up the touchdown, but it's still tied.
That's the positive that you got to take out of the situation, and then just go back to what's been working for you, mostly the run game so far. They just got to stick to what they do best.
High snap, and boy, bungled exchange with Stevens and the running back McCary, but he's able to fall on it. Actually, that was Stanfield on the run. And he actually got some positive yards, go figure.
Again, another high snap. I'm gonna stop mentioning that, but the high snap.
Second down and 9. Stevens will pitch. Stanfield gets room and gets close to the first.
Nice pickup there. They've had some success on the options and the runs to the outside. Looks like about a 3rd and 1. And, that's what you like to see from your run game on second down.
I would think a big 3rd down and 1 right here.
Oh, absolutely. See, he makes the right read there. The defender coming in. Stevens has run it enough tonight to still draw those defenders towards him.
Field position a concern here if the Bombers can't get the first. They hand it off to Stanfield. He gets the first. And how many times has he come up with big yards for them when they've needed it?
Yeah, I mean, countless times tonight. And he does it again there. This lead, although it's tied, there's plenty of time. This could be one of those clock-killing drives that ends the game.
They need to come away with some points, though, and that's always been the concern. Both of these teams tonight have been bitten by the turnover bug, especially in the second half. Interceptions, fumbles, special teams miscues. Stanfield, big hole up the middle, runs right over Sanderson and gets a couple more yards, 12 yards on that run. Bombers have had a lot of success, and Coach Neithold talked about it, Mark, how important it was to establish the run, and they've had a lot of success going back to Stanfield here on this drive.
Yeah, Stanfield and McCary both. I mean, the cutback, they've both shown great vision tonight, and it's led to big runs like that.
Another big hole. Stanfield cuts it back, then carries a couple of defenders across the 45, down to the 43 for another Richland first down. Number 34 coming up big. And this line doing a great job of blocking here on this drive. Great poise by this Richland offense after that big fourth down conversion by the Braves.
Yeah, and again, running the ball, I think this is where you probably look to kill some clock now, and the run game has been working really well for the Bombers.
Stevens will call his own number. That was a good idea. Gets a great block down the far side, inside the 30. And another Richland first. 20-yard run by Paxton Stevens.
Again, we've mentioned it a couple times with the speed. He even goes backwards here as the defense, has a little beat on him, but a great block there, I believe, by Alex Chapman there. And a high step and out of bounds.
First and 10 from the 30, Stanfield. This time the Braves are ready for him, but he still gets a few yards there, and he was met immediately at the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, I mean, he's been running tough all night. Good on him and the effort just to get that so that it wasn't a loss.
They mark him down after about a yard. I thought maybe he might have been able to dive forward for a little bit more than that. Got a flag there. Braves are pointing at Richland. False start will back him up 5 yards.
64. That's a 5-yard penalty. Replay, second down.
Well, 2:18 left on the clock now, Mark. So this might be a situation where if they can drain the clock down, like you were saying, maybe they just go for the field goal rather than trying to punch it into the end zone. There's no need necessarily to go all the way in if they can drain down enough clock.
Yeah, maybe Neithold will surprise us and bring out the kicker.
Little pressure, dump off to Stanfield. Can he create? He dives down to the 28. On 2nd and 14, it'll still be 3rd and long. Actually say that he hit a knee there at the 30, so it'll be 3rd and 10. This is no guarantee. Got to imagine that Neithold considers this 4-down territory.
I would think so. I mean, from this yardage point, 47 yards, a tough kick at the high school level.
3rd and 10 from the 30. Stevens has good protection, guns it, caught out of bounds at the 22. Ryan Piper. Check that, Josh Mendoza.
I mean, he just finds some open space along the sideline, and he guns it in there. Perfect spiral there. And a nice move by Mendoza to get open.
And with the pass out of bounds, the clock remains at 1:38. 4th down and 1 for the Bombers. They have failed on 4th down on 4 previous occasions inside the 30. And Kamiakin's defense come up with another big stop again. Stanfield hit in the backfield, still spinning. Did he get there? Oh man, it's going to be close. It's going to be awfully close.
Again, a hit in the backfield. I mean, wow.
The marker's at the 20. The officials are right around there. And they're going to say first down, Richland. And the Bomber faithful on the far side of the field, the student section, you can hear them from here. They're going nuts. A big first down with 1:29 to go. If they can get another 10 yards here, Mark, got to think that that becomes a very makeable field goal at the high school level. And they set the clock to go again here after the first down and the ball being placed. 1:20 left. And another whistle before this thing could get off.
Dead ball. False start against 67 of the offense. That's a 5-yard penalty. Replay first down.
Boy, that's got to be frustrating for the coaches. At Richland High School, they've had a lot of false starts. Their line has played brilliantly. They've had a great run game tonight. They wanted to establish that. Stevens has had a lot of time in the second half to throw the football, but these false start penalties have been very inopportune, to say the least. 1st and 15 now from the 25. Stevens can't find an open receiver. Throwing it up in the end zone. Up for grabs. Is it caught? No, out of bounds. It was caught by the receiver, but they rule out of bounds. It was Josh Mendoza who hauled it in, and he is slow to get up. Boy, that looked awfully dangerous. Mendoza hobbling to the sideline. 1:05 left in the football game.
And that's a play, you don't want to let Paxton Stevens have that much time, because more often than not, despite his deep ball struggles this game, he's been connecting on those. His receivers have found a way to get open and make it a big play.
That one almost looked like it could have been anybody's football. A little bit of a Hail Mary almost, but he must have known that Mendoza was breaking towards the back end of the end zone. 2nd and 15. Dump off Stanfield. Gets a block across the 20. Still moving, fumbles it out of bounds. But it'll remain Richland football. They rule it out at the 12, and now the Bombers, they stop the clock with 57 seconds to go. It'll be 3rd and 2. They are in field goal range.
Yeah, I don't know if you could ever really call them fortunate, but honestly, a little bit of a fortunate fumble there. You get the first down. I think he got a couple more yards with it, and you stop the clock. Your offense now has a chance to get together, make a play before you think about the play clock running down.
3rd and 2, handoff Stanfield. Hit in the backfield by Alex Bayek. Man, has he made some big tackles when the Braves have needed it in this football game. Loss of a yard. It'll be 4th and 3. Decision time for the Bombers. What do they do?
I mean, conventional wisdom says to kick it. And it looks like
they've called a timeout. I was looking at the play clock. It was at 0. I just wanted to make sure. They've called a timeout. They'll discuss things. 50 seconds to go. All tied at 14. They have the ball on the 13 of Kamiakin, so you add 17 yards. Should be a 30-yard field goal. Coming up tonight at 11 o'clock, it'll be SWX overtime. It'll be must-see TV. Catch all the highlights from this game. Mark, you'll be there.
Yeah, myself, Rob Jesselson, will have a complete wrap-up of all the action across the MCC as well as other schools in the area tonight. Again, that starts just after the 11 at 11. Coming up later. But I think they got to kick the field goal here. 4th and 3. They've stopped you 4 times already. You've converted 1, but that was a 1-yard conversion. I think you have to, despite Neidhold hating not going for it on 4th down, I think you have to kick the field goal here.
Well, it just depends on how much confidence he has in his field goal kicker. That is Weissenfels, and he is coming out here, and they will attempt the field goal. .30-yard attempt with 50 seconds to go. Fans on both sides of the field standing on their feet, and a whistle.
Timeout Kamiakin. It's
Kamiakin.
their second charge timeout of the half.
will call a timeout, perhaps in an effort to ice the kicker.
And I think I think that's the right move. There's a lot of talk about does it work, does it not work, but this is a high-pressure situation in a game where Richland obviously favored being the number 1 ranked team in the state in 4A. And you make the kid think about it a little more, despite what they say of, every kick's just a kick. I think that's the right call by Coach Bigland.
47 meetings, Mark, between Richland and Kamiakin, including tonight. And yet again, it looks like we're going to have another game decided by 1 score or less. Going to have to be the 20th time that's happened. We're coming up on Tuesday, October 11th at 7 o'clock. Prep Countdown. Definitely be talking about this game on Tuesday. And also about the games coming up next week. A Thursday night game on SWX along with the Friday night game. Be sure and tune into those as well. See the Kamiakin faithful cheer squad with their hands clasped, praying for a miracle. Adam Weissenfels getting ready to attempt a 30-yard field goal out of the Kamiakin timeout. Snap is good, the hold is good, the kick is up. And it is no good. Wide to the right. Kamiakin still in it. This game doesn't want to end. Adam Weissenfels can't believe it. The snap was good, the hold was good. He got enough air under it, but he floated it a little bit, and it floated to the right.
I mean, why wouldn't that happen? Everything else has gone as we didn't expect tonight. Of course, the short kick is not going to make it, and we're likely going to overtime.
You saw those drum beats right there, and the heartbeat for this Kamiakin team. Still very much alive. 45 seconds in regulation. Braves could win it in regulation. They decide to hand it off to Quested, and the clock will drain down. Maybe they just want to live to fight another day in overtime.
Second down and 10.
They reset the play clock. And Borish looking to the sidelines. One more play before the end of the game. Will they go for it here or just run it? They'll take a knee and just wait for overtime. And that'll be the end of the fourth quarter. And the score, are we really surprised? All tied up, 14 apiece between the number 1 team in 4A, the Richland Bombers, and the number 7 team in 3A, the Kamiakin Braves. 2 arch rivals of the Mid-Columbia in a fierce battle. So it'll be a Kansas City tiebreaker in overtime. Each team will get an opportunity from the 25-yard line.
I don't think we could ask for a better way to end this game. As hyped as it was all week, obviously the best matchup that I think we have tonight. And it's been back and forth, plays on both sides.
Yeah, I saw this interception here by Colton Chellin, taking it down to the 12-yard line. Thinking at that time, boy, Kamiakin's got a great opportunity to tie things up. And then on the very next play, Zach Borish trying to scramble and make something happen, fumbles it. Richland recovers at the 24-yard line, but credit the Braves defense with a great stop. And then Josh Mendoza trying to punt it away. Low snap, couldn't do anything with it. And he was tackled. And that's where the Braves would take over on downs. But it was 4th and goal from the 4, and Zach Borish with a big touchdown pass to Isaiah Brimmer to tie things up at 14 apiece. And boy, we thought the Bombers were going to take the lead for good with a field goal, 30-yard field goal try by Adam Weissenfels, and he missed it wide to the right. And now the Braves, boy, they just feel like they've got a chance here. They're fired up. They are fired up. They just starting to feel like, hey, we got a chance to knock off the number 1 team in 4A.
Yeah, they absolutely do. 14-all right now, and momentum is really flipped back and forth so much. It's tough to say who really has it. I don't know if maybe the Braves feel like they do, since on paper, this was a game that they probably weren't supposed to be in this position with.
Well, they're going to have a coin toss here, I believe, at midfield. And then after that, each team will get an opportunity from the 25-yard line, regardless of the score. It's a Kansas City tiebreaker. Each overtime is 25 yards to the end zone or field goal, and they keep going until one team outscores the other or stops the other. Well, another exciting chapter being written tonight in this rivalry that began back in 1971 between the Richland Bombers and the Kamiakin Braves here in Kennewick. Talking to Coach Mike Neithold of the Richland Bombers, and perhaps nobody knows this rivalry better than him. I asked him, when did this rivalry truly begin? And he said, the minute they opened Kamiakin High School, the rivalry was born. Of course, Coach Neithold was a member of the 1975 Richland Bombers team, back then Columbia High School, that finished second in the state and served as an assistant coach for 21 years at Richland before becoming the head coach, a role he has done quite admirably in for the last 9 years. Two rivals, the team captains shaking hands. A lot of respect.
Okay, guys, the rules of overtime is each team gets one charge timeout. The winner of the coin flip has a choice of offense, defense, or which end of the field they want to defend. Okay? Richland, you're the visitors. What's your call?
Heads.
Heads is the call. It's the tails. Your choice. Offense, defense, or which end of the field you want to play from.
We'll play defense.
Defense. Richland, it's your ball. And which end of the field do you want to play from? Play from this end? Okay, guys. Good luck. Bring out your teams. We'll start at the 25-yard line.
So the Richland Bombers will begin with the football. On the left side of the field. From the 25-yard line. Question is, can Paxton Stevens and the Bombers punch it in? Their offense definitely picked up a lot of steam in the second half, but the Braves defensively showed an ability in a short field in red zone situations to play some tremendous defense. In the first half, Richland was 0 for 4 on fourth down opportunities inside the 30-yard line. And the Braves got another big stop on the missed field goal by Adam Weissenfels right before the end of regulation. When the Bombers had it at the 13 and attempted a 30-yard field goal. Stevens gonna run, and he gets hit immediately at the line of scrimmage. And it's Alex Bayek again. That kid has just been off the chain defensively. How many big hits has he had? They figured out how to defend that quarterback keeper a little bit better. The Stevens, Mark, has had some great runs at different points in the second half, but Bayek, I think, has snuffed it out.
Yeah, he absolutely has. Tackle in the backfield, sacks. He's really done it all tonight.
Loss of 1. It'll be 2nd and 11. The carry in the backfield. Getting moved around by Stevens. Play clock down to 5. Hand off to McCary. Gets 3 or 4 positive yards, but it'll still be 3rd and long. Last thing Richland wants to be is in a situation where they've got to attempt a field goal. Their kicking game, maybe not where they want it, as it looked like Weissenfels really struggled with a 30-yard attempt. This would be much further than that if they can't get the first down.
Yeah, I think that's true, but I think still in this situation you'd have to take the points or at least go for the field goal regardless of how far it is.
Big 3rd down and 7 for Stevens and the Bombers. Braves showing blitz. Little pressure. Stevens got a man open, and it's caught. Chapman, touchdown. On 3rd down and 7, a 22-yard touchdown strike from Stevens to Chapman. They've been trying to hook up all night long, Mark, and they finally did.
They finally do, and what a beautiful, beautiful route to get so wide open here. That increases his MCC leading 7 touchdowns to 8 for number 8, Alex Chapman. What a play.
On 3rd down and 7 from the 22, Chapman was left alone. Somebody forgot about an assignment there. They really brought the dogs. Dylan Crawford was right in Stevens' grill. Heady throw by the senior quarterback. Weisenfeld converts on the extra point to make it 21-14, and it's a full 7-point lead for Richland. But the Braves will have an opportunity to tie it up. Look at the rollout by Stevens. Excuse me, that was Drew Sanderson that was coming right after him. And Chapman got away from Darian Moore and brought it in. Pretty fired up. Coach Tim Maher there, the defensive coordinator of 38 years for the Kamiakin Braves, shaking his head.
That's just a savvy route there by Chapman. Tough to beat that.
First time since 2013 that these two teams have gone to overtime. Of course, that game ended up 56-49 in Richland's favor. First opportunity here for the Braves in overtime. And Borish, a nice job of scrambling to the outside, gets 5. 56-49 in Richland's favor in 4 overtimes, if you haven't heard us say it earlier in the broadcast. So who knows what could happen here. Second down and 7. Borish lobs it up for Brimmer. Does he bring it down? What a catch by Isaiah Brimmer. Brimmer got popped up in the air. Or was that Benson Smith? Not sure if that was Benson Smith or Isaiah Brimmer. Tough to know there. But it's a first down and goal from the 4. Borish gonna run it. And he is tackled for a short gain there on first down. Second down and 4, ball on the 4. What a game this has been. The back and forth have been exciting. Over the middle, caught, touchdown. Darian Moore, the Braves answer in the first overtime. But it's still 21-20, and they'll have to convert on the extra point. And who knows? Perhaps a little trickery from Scott Bigland and the Braves, Mark. Maybe they go for 2. Take another look.
Very true. Borish, man, what a laser there to Darian Moore. And, man, what a great catch. What a great target in Moore among all the guys you have there. And he makes a huge play for him. But this point, extra point here, not without pressure.
Garrett Paxton. Fluorescent green shoes need to come through tonight. Forces second overtime. Snap is good, hold, and it's blocked! It's blocked! Richland wins it! Richland wins it!
Adam Weisenfels, another blocked kick. This kid just won this game for the Richland Bombers.
Adam Weisenfels comes through with a big-time block. And it's 21-20. The number 1 team in 4A escapes at the Lamp over their arch rivals, Kamiakin.
You know, an incredible game. Not quite the 4 overtime thriller in 2013, but going to 1 overtime. 19 games decided by a score or less. How about we add one of those games now, again decided by a point? And this one was a thriller. Both teams played tremendous games on defense, and offense came through late. This was a classic, I think.
Sweet redemption for Adam Weisenfels. He missed the field goal at the end of regulation from 30 yards out, but then he gets the blocked extra point to seal the win in overtime for the Richland Bombers, and they escape 21-20. Richland improves to 6-0, remains undefeated in Mid-Columbia Conference play at 4-0. Kamiakin Braves, boy, they've come a long way since a tough loss to Chiawana, but the Braves still lose it and drop to 4-2, 2-2 in the Mid-Columbia Conference. Next up for the Richland Bombers, it's Walla Walla at Fran Rish next Friday. It's a game that's on SWX. Meanwhile, for the Kamiakin Braves, they'll try and regroup here at the Lamp against another MCC rival in Kennewick. Another classic here between Richland and Kamiakin, the 47th meeting. Another one for the ages. It's been a pleasure. For my broadcast partner, Mark Mingura, my name is Brian Levitan. For our entire production staff, thanks so much for making us a part of your Friday night.